What's up, boys? I'm taking a look at some player props today over on Prize Picks. Prize Picks, if you guys don't know, is a great website for some player props. Use my code DOMG when you guys sign up right there. Right there. Yeah, no, right there. Use code DOMG when you guys sign up. Match your first deposit 100% up to $100 when you guys sign up. Use it all the time for my player props, available in most states. But today I have a special going on. So right here, Bryce Young is at half a passing yard. All you guys have to do is take him on the over. There's a $20 max though, which is pretty sweet still, because if you guys do like a $20 two-pick power play, which is probably what I'm going to do, you can turn that into 60 if you guys hit the other leg of it. So it's a free square. Pretty awesome of Prize Picks to go ahead and do this before the end of the college football season here. But if you guys are in there's like 3 states that don't allow college ones. They said they were going to do a different type of offer like this for those 3 states. But yeah, so if you guys are in the majority of these states, you guys can go ahead and get Bryce Young over half a passing yard. So pretty sweet right there. It's another reason to go ahead and join Prize Picks. But we're going to go ahead and talk about some NBA player props today. In today's video. Yesterday on the Patreon, we had a pretty good day. So we were 5-3 in the individual picks, not the greatest, kind of average, but the individual 2-pick power plays that I did 3 of them, 2 out of the 3 hit, so that was great. That's profit right there. So pretty awesome right there that we cashed 2 out of the 3 power plays. We're profit on the year for power plays by a really good amount. So we've been hitting the picks lately over there, so it's pretty awesome. If you guys are interested in the Patreon, it's $10 a month. Link is in my description. Sign up for the Patreon if you guys are interested in that. But yeah, you guys get a spreadsheet, pretty much just ranking some of my individual player props and then 2-pick power plays. I usually do about 2 or 3 of them a day. If it's a really small slate, I'd probably do 1. But yeah, we've been hitting over there recently, so if you guys want to join us, go ahead. But otherwise, there's a free Discord down in the description. So yeah, everything in the description. Prize Picks promo code, Discord link, all that stuff is in the description. And then finally, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe. Really does help me out. Also, turn on post notifications. That helps me out as well. But we'll go ahead. I'll stop talking. I'm sorry. This has been a really, really long intro. Had a lot to cover with Bryce Young and the Patreon and all that different stuff. But let's go ahead and talk about some of these here. So it's an interesting day. There's a lot of tough matchups out there. There's a lot of props that look really good that could possibly be bait with all the matchups. So you got to be really careful today is what I'm thinking here. First look. So let's take a look at the first one here. And that is Joel Embiid. So let's take a look at this one. Probably one of the more popular ones. Did I already take him down? What just happened? Did I spell his name wrong somehow, or did I just screw? What happened? No, he's right there. Oh, there's 2 eyes. What am I thinking? 30.5 here for Joel Embiid here. So he's 31. He's hit this 5 out of 5 in his last 5. Some quick stats here. So 8 out of 10 in his last 10. He had 31 in his last matchup versus Houston. But it's going to be a sweat. I mean, he's been killing this here. But he had 31 3 straight games. It's going to be a sweat. You could end up getting screwed pretty bad. But Joel Embiid is playing some pretty good basketball right now. He had 31 last matchup against Houston, which was right there. But he's just playing Houston again. He's averaging 32.6 in his last 5. It's going to be a tough game. But there's also blowout potential in this game. Let's take a look at this one. Be aware of the blowouts today. There's a lot of them. This game is 11-point spread. This game is a possible blowout, but not really. I usually don't really I really try to stay away from them if they're like 7.5 or more, usually. But 6-point spread, not too horrible. 9-point spread is really tough. 10.5-point spread is really tough. So maybe try to stick with the Cleveland game for overs, the Knicks, Celtics, Bucks game. Just try to stay away from the blowout games if you guys can, because you can get pretty screwed. There's games I've taken Booker in the past and he has not played the entire 4th quarter. But I've also taken under on Kevin Porter one game, and he didn't play the entire 4th quarter. So that's just how it happens sometimes. So, but anyways, let's take a look at this game here. So Seth Curry questionable. All these guys are out. These guys are out. Eric Gordon, I guess, is out. I don't know why he says he's in the starting lineup right now. That must have just happened. But 226.5 over-under, 10.5-point spread. Joel Embiid center going against the Houston Rockets. So blowout potential here. Let's take a look at season long what the Houston Rockets have been allowing. They're allowing the 2nd most points to the center position. Let's take a look at the last 7 games to see where Houston is allowing, and they're allowing the most points to the center position. So it's a really, really good spot for Joel Embiid. He's hit 8 out of his last 10. It's going to be a sweat. If you guys don't like sweats, probably don't recommend this one. But yeah, he's in a pretty good spot to hit this over. It's just you got to deal with the blowout there. It's going to be tough. It's still a good over-under, though, which is nice, but just kind of be aware of that blowout right there for Joel Embiid. But he's in a pretty good spot in today's game. Just the blowout kind of sucks. Let's take a look some more here. Let's take a look at another points one. I got a bonus one for you guys today, by the way. Usually I do about 5 each video, but this time I have 6 because I got a kind of a bonus one that's I'm kind of iffy on. It's more of a toss-up one, so that's why I kind of didn't really want to touch it as much, but so I decided to do 6. But Miles Bridges here is one that I like at over 17.5 points. He's had 21, 19, 23, 10, and 16. So he's hit 3 out of 3 in his last 3. 3 out of 5 in his last 5. But he is 6 for 10 in his last 10. He has hit 2 for 2 versus Milwaukee and is 63% at hitting at least 18 points on the season. So he's in a pretty good spot today against Milwaukee, hitting already twice this season, including last matchup, which was 2 days ago, where he had 21 points. So let's take a look at this game here. Like I said, this is a game that's kind of on my target list because it's not really a blowout, but 2-point spread here, 236.5 over-under. That's a huge over-under right there. One of the biggest I've seen probably all season. I don't think I've seen like a 240 on here, but 236 is probably one of the higher ones that I've seen, and that's without Drew Holiday and Grayson Allen and all those guys. But Hornets are finally completely healthy here. So let's take a look at this here. So Miles Bridges, power forward, going against the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis. So let's take a look at this here. So the Milwaukee Bucks in their last 7 games are right in the middle, it looks like. 20.27, yeah, like almost right dead in the middle. Maybe rebounds is a good way to target for Miles Bridges because he has the Bucks are allowing a ton of rebounds to the power forward position. But we can take a look season long here, and the Bucks are still right in the middle with 20.94. So they're kind of right in the middle of the road for the matchup. A guy who's been hitting it a good amount on the season and has already hit 2 of 2 against the Milwaukee Bucks. He's in a pretty good spot. I kind of like it today's game for Miles Bridges. So pretty solid one right there in my opinion. So always do your own research, by the way. Don't go off of directly what I say in these videos. I always like to say that because these are always not official. I usually only take about 1 or 2, if even, from these videos and put them in my Patreon. I like the usually 5 to 10 that I play on the Patreon. So just keep that in mind. A lot of things change throughout the day. So always do your own research. But let's take a look at one more here. Jalen Brown. Jalen Brown, 6 rebounds here. So he's at 11, 7, 6, 11, and 11. So he's been sitting around that 11 number some games, but he's been killing it. So it was at 5.5 earlier. They bumped it up to 6. So I still like it at 6 though. Should be able to at least push on this one, but we're looking for at least 7 rebounds here. But this game, 6.5 point spread, 212.5 over under. Over under doesn't matter as much for rebounds, but shooting guard here going against the Indiana Pacers. So shooting guard, rebounds all year against the Pacers. Let's take a look at this here. So the Pacers are one of the harder teams against shooting guards rebounds throughout the year. Let's take a look at last 7. So Pacers are allowing, did I miss them? Yeah, they're right up here. So it's still kind of in the same spot right there, 5.67. They've allowed a lot of points to shooting guards, but I'm not sure I want to touch Jalen Brown after he screwed me over by half a point the other night. But that sucked so bad. But 6 for 8 in his last 10, and he's killed this recently, so yeah, 2 pushes in his last 10, so keep that in mind. There's a shot he pushes, but he's got a pretty good spot today. Matchup a little bit on the tougher side, but his hit rate has been pretty good in the past couple of games, so you might want to ride the wave on that one if you guys wish. So we got 3 more here, so let's take a look at these. Let's take a look at Isaiah Stewart. Rebounds. So 7.5 rebounds for Isaiah Stewart. This one's a really, really tough one. I'm on the edge of this because he's gotten such low minutes. If he can get minutes, he'll kill this. If he does not, he's going to screw this over. He's only gotten like a little bit over 20 in his last 2 games. It's been like 20.2, 0.6 minutes or something like that on props.cash, it says. So he's on the spot. It's really weird. He's still gotten this, but he has not been getting the minutes that he should be getting for the Detroit Pistons. But it's 11-point spread, so blowout potential. That's another thing you got to worry about. Bull may not play. 224 and a half, or not even and a half, just 224 over under. But he's going against Utah today, and no Rudy Gobert, so that's another good spot for Isaiah Stewart in today's game. So let's take a look at this center rebounds against Utah. So let's take a look at Utah here. Where are they at on this list? So this was with Rudy Gobert in most of these games, I think, right? I don't think he's been out for a long time. So 14.71 right there for the Utah Jazz in their last 7 games. In center here, Utah Jazz, they are right there, 14.5 across the entire season. So they're kind of in the same spot. It's a little bit of a tougher matchup, but for a guy who's been killing this lately, he's hit this 9 out of 10 in his last 10, by the way. So no Gobert, 67% hit in the season, but you got to worry about the minutes and the blowout. So it's a riskier one, but with a really, really good hit rate. So he's going to be sitting right around that 8 rebound mark, I think, but it's a little bit of a riskier one. There's a lot of risky plays today, in my opinion. Let's move on, though. Let's take a look at an assist one here, and that is Cade Cunningham over 5 assists. So right here, 6.6 average in his last 5. He has hit this 4 out of 4 in his last 5 with 1 push. So let's take a look at this here. So he's 7 out of 9 in his last 10 at hitting at least 6 rebounds, or at 5 assists. I don't know why I was saying rebounds. Let's take a look at this game once again. So same game here. Let's take a look at shooting guard going against the Utah Jazz for assists. So assists here, Utah Jazz. Where are they at on this list? Utah. They're they're kind of in the harder side there. 4.15 right there for the assists. Let's take a look at the last 7. That's a little bit more telling. I like going off of last 7 rather than season. But Utah here, 4.29 is what they are at. So they're a little bit on the harder side. It's going to be a tougher matchup, but he's been killing this lately with a 7 out of 9 in his last 10 hit rate at 5 assists. So it's a really good spot. Tougher matchup. I don't believe him or Stewart has played the Utah Jazz this season. So yeah, it's a tough matchup. Like I said in the beginning of the video, there's a lot of good props that have a lot of tough matchups. So just kind of be aware of that. And I mean, there's a lot of tough ones with the blowouts too. So all right, final one here. This is kind of the bonus one here. It's literally like a 50-50 shot almost, but there's reason for me to believe he will go over in this game. So it's Sabonis here at half a three-point make. So he's hit this 4 out of 5 in his last 5. So he's actually been doing pretty good at hitting at least 1 3-pointer. He's averaging 1.6 in his last 5, but he did have 3 twice. So 3, 1, 0, 3, and 1 in his last 5. So season long though, he's hit this 5 out of 10 in his last 10. He's 44% hitting this on the season. But against the Boston Celtics, he's 3 for 3 last season. So he's not played the Boston Celtics this season, I do not believe. But last season, he was 3 for 3 at hitting at least 1 3-pointer. So that's a really good look. But again, that's kind of last season. So let's take a look at power forward 3-point makes against the Boston Celtics. Let's take a look at season long first. So the Celtics here and what they're allowing. So it's kind of a toss-up one. I don't really like ones that are like half like that because it's kind of like a toss-up, but 1.77 is what they are allowing right there. Don't pay attention to more of the number. Pay attention to more of where they rank among other teams is what I like to say. But it's a little bit on the harder side right there for matchups. Boston Celtics, they're a little bit easier in their last 7. Kind of in the middle. Yeah, probably like right in the middle there at 1.74. So it's a little bit of a tougher one, I guess. But he has hit 3 out of 3 in his last season. But it's not been as great this season, 44%. At hitting at least 1 3. So yeah, he's in a spot right there to potentially go over just based on last season, but he has been hitting pretty good though in his last 5. So I don't know, it's a decent spot. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments though. But that's pretty much gonna do it. Go ahead and use code DOMG on PrizePicks. Matches your first deposit up to $100, 100%. So I definitely recommend joining if you guys are interested in that. Available in most states, and go ahead and use that Bryce Young promo. Yeah, it's a $20 max, so it's free money if you guys can hit the other leg at least. Or you can hedge it. You can take your $10 profit. So, yeah, that's going to do it, man. Appreciate you watching. I'll see you guys next time.